Good morning, everybody.
And good morning, everybody.
Yeah,
And welcome back to another beautiful episode of the Good News from Your Nation.
that's right. Happy Saturday. Happy Sunday morning. It is June 9th, Sunday, 2024. And yeah, we got the devotion here for y'all. The title today's is Like Mother, Like Daughter. The Bible thought. So Herodias nursed a grudge against John and wanted to kill him. And if we know who Herodias, that was King Herod's wife. He took her to be wife. It was actually his brother's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this actual Bible reading is going to be right in there in Mark chapter 6. A little bit about Herod, you know, and what they had, or Herodias, what she had out against John. And yeah, she wanted to kill him, and she did. She had that done. So let's see. This devotion though is out of Mark 6:15 through 29, and it was right after King Herod. It says in verse 14, heard of him, for his name was spread abroad, and he was talking about Jesus. So he had heard about all this that Jesus was doing, uh, healing and casting out unclean spirits and all this, and word was getting around. So King Herod, he heard of this, and he said that John the Baptist was risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him. So King Herod was thinking that Jesus was John the Baptist, just risen from the dead. Yeah. And they didn't even believe that. Some of them anyways. So it's weird hearing that King Herod thought that. So verse 15 though, it starts out, yeah, and says, others said that it is Elijah, and others said that it is a prophet, or as one of the prophets. Because they would say, maybe this is Elijah, maybe this is Jeremiah. They was just trying to figure out everybody that it could have been other than who it was. It was Jesus.
Yeah.
Verse 16, but when Herod heard thereof, he said, it is John, whom I beheaded. He is risen from the dead. For Herod himself had sent forth and laid hold upon John, and bound him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife, for he married her. For John had said unto Herod, it is not lawful for thee to have thy brother's wife. Therefore Herodias had a quarrel against him, and would have killed him, but she could not. For Herod feared John, knowing that he was a just man and holy, and observed him. And when he heard him, he did many things, and heard him gladly. And when a convenient day was come that Herod on his birthday made a supper to his lords, high captains, and chief estates of Galilee. So, yeah, he actually feared John. So it says in verse 20, knowing that he was a just man and holy, and observed him, and when he heard him, he did many things, and he heard him gladly. So Herod was kind of accepted to John, but not his wife.
No.
So Herod's birthday, he had a big supper and had all kinds of high captains and chief estates of Galilee there. In verse 22, and when the daughter of the said Herodias came in. So now here's the daughter of Herodias. Hence the title, like mother, like daughter. So, and when the daughter of the said Herodias came in and danced and pleased Herod and them that sat with him, the king said unto the damsel, ask of me whatsoever thou wilt, and I will give it to thee. And he sware unto her, whatever you ask, I will give it to thee unto the half of my kingdom. And she went forth and said unto her mother, What shall I ask? And she said, the mother, Herodias, said, The head of John the Baptist. And she came in straightway with haste unto the king, King Herod, and asked, saying, I will that thou give me by and by in a charger the head of John the Baptist. And verse 26 says, And the king was exceeding sorry. Because we just read in verse 20, he knew John was a just man and he heard him gladly. But now verse 26, he's exceeding sorry because he asked Herodias' daughter, because she danced and entertained him and the guests, whatever you ask, I will give it. Well, he didn't think that.
No.
He didn't think that, but she went and talked to her mother, and her mother said, ask for John the Baptist's head. So he was exceeding sorry, yet for his oath's sake and for their sakes which sat with him, he would not deny her. And immediately the king sent an executioner and commanded his head to be brought, and he went and beheaded him in the prison, and brought his head in a charger, and gave it to the damsel, and the damsel gave it to her mother. And when his disciples heard of it, they came and took up his corpse and laid it in a tomb. So, that right there is kind of disturbing to read about, because we know that John the Baptist, he was out, preaching. And I remember one of the things he said, that there's one that comes after me that I am not even worthy to untie or tie his shoes, take off his sandals or put his sandals on. I'm not even worthy. And he was talking about Jesus.
Yeah.
And then we know that John the Baptist baptized Jesus,
in Jordan,
in the Jordan River.
That's like, I can't even fathom all that.
Right. But so John the Baptist is now, he was in prison. Okay. They went and got him and got his head for Herodias and her daughter. So like mother, like daughter, here's the devotion. There is such pain when a child follows a parent's poor example. In today's reading, Herodias despised John the Baptist for confronting her relationship with Herod. And it says she held a grudge. Her daughter must have seen how this upset her mother. Herod said he would give the daughter whatever she desired. So to please her mother and alleviate the troubling complaints, she asked for John the Baptist's head. The daughter had been corrupted by her mother's sinful and vindictive attitude. Now, I doubt many mothers would make such a request. However, think about the troubling influence of our complaining, holding grudges, or attempting to normalize ungodly choices. Our words and attitudes can sink deep into the hearts of our children or grandchildren. Then to please us or to be like us, they may also select such harmful behaviors. Perhaps 2 Timothy 1:5 will encourage us that the sincere faith of a grandmother and mother left a godly influence on a child. We hope for that in our lives. That's right. And I believe most of us that are watching can say that we had, or you had a grandmother or a mother that was a great impact and a great influence on you.
Oh, yeah.
And some of us out there cannot say that they had that. Because this is the world we're living in. It ain't everybody's got a storybook fairy tale. Everybody's life is not.
No.
Some of them may be pretty chaotic and evil, like Herodias and her daughter's relationship. But in Timothy, like he just referenced at the end of this, had a grandmother and mother, Paul did, I believe, and Timothy, But I think he was talking about Timothy's. I'd have to go back and relook at that. But so the impacts we do and the impressions we leave on people or children or whatever is very significant. It can do damage or it can do good. And I would venture to say that all of us sitting here maybe have done some damaging things or said some damaging things or whatever that we're not very proud of. But that's where we can go to the Father and we can lay it at his feet humbly, and he can help us. He preserves us. He preserves us. And as for John, he wouldn't have had it any other way, I don't think. He stood up for what was right, and he died for what was right, Now, that's just the way life is.
Can you imagine, though, John baptizing Jesus?
Yeah.
That, I'm sure he felt honored.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Because it's hard to put that together, because it's like, that is just a beautiful thing to me.
It sure is.
It is so beautiful. I love it.
Yep. And so, guys, there we go with today's devotion. We appreciate you watching. And, yeah, we'll see y'all on the beautiful next. And peace out. Love you all. Yeah.
And I just want to say to everybody, please don't give up, because you're so worth and you're so special.
Yeah.
And you guys, you have a beautiful purpose.
That's right.
You do.
That's right.
Always hold that tight in your heart and soul. So we'll see you on the beautiful next one, you guys, because we will.
Yeah.
So love you guys.
You bite out of the camera. Appreciate it. Didn't even notice that. Yeah.
Got to pay more attention.
Yeah, you do. You need to be in frame, don't she? She needs to be just like that, in frame of the camera, so we can see her all. Yeah. See y'all later.